Hello to all Cinemaster lovers. Hope you enjoy watching. Let's get started. The movie begins with a man named Jerry, who lives a simple life with his beautiful family. He wakes up like every other day, and they prepare together to go about their usual routine, with some heading to work and others to school. But when they go outside and get into their car, they find the street extremely crowded, with a lot of cars. Not only that, but there are also many security forces on the ground and in the air with helicopters. There's a lot of tension. Jerry turns on the radio, trying to understand what's happening. He hears that the Ministry of Health has announced that they're conducting extensive research and tracking the spread of rabies, which has spread widely in Taiwan. The disease has even started to spread to several other countries. Then, a police car passes by Jerry and breaks the car's side mirror. Jerry gets out to retrieve the mirror and tries to understand what's going on, feeling increasingly anxious. Today felt different from any other day. A police officer then approaches Jerry, advising him to get back in the car, secure himself and his family, and not to leave the vehicle at all. But shortly after, a large truck arrives, running over the officer and everyone in its path. Chaos erupts in the area. Jerry takes advantage of the situation by following a car in front of him to escape the traffic jam they're stuck in. But then, another car crashes into Jerry's, causing a major accident. Thankfully, no one in his family dies. However, people around them have gone mad, and the scene becomes chaotic. Nobody understands what's going on. Many people are running and fleeing, while others are chasing them, and some are smashing their faces against other cars' windows, attacking whoever is inside. Jerry, feeling anxious, gets out of his car, unsure of what to do or how to protect his family. He sees people in front of him turning into something else as soon as someone infected bites them. Jerry then gets into a large truck on the road and escapes with his family. Meanwhile, the people on the ground continue eating the dead, turning into crazed individuals like them. Jerry faces a serious problem because his daughter suffers from asthma and uses an inhaler, which she lost during the chaos. They approach the square, and his daughter desperately needs her medicine to breathe normally. She tries to do breathing exercises with Jerry to control herself until they reach a place where they can get her the treatment she needs. At that moment, Jerry gets a call from a colleague named Thierry, who asks him to return to work because of the spreading disease. They need his help to fight the disease before it spreads worldwide. Thierry tells him he will send a helicopter to his location to rescue him and take him to their operations base. Jerry then heads to a mall to gather a lot of medicine and food for his kids and wife, knowing that a crisis is coming and people won't be able to find food or water. However, in the mall, two men try to attack his wife, but Jerry manages to kill them. He then hurries with his wife to leave, but they find that their car has been stolen. They are forced to go into a tall building to hide. Jerry contacts Thierry, giving him his location so that he can send the helicopter to take them away from the infected city. As Jerry enters the building, he locks the door behind him to keep the zombies from following, but the zombies manage to break the door and chase them up the stairs. Jerry, his wife, and kids run to escape until a married couple lets them into their apartment to protect them from the zombies coming up the stairs. Inside the apartment, the couple provides Jerry, his wife, and children with food and water, as the food they had was lost in the chaos on the stairs. Jerry turns on the radio and hears the city governor announcing that a dangerous virus has spread across the city, turning people into zombies. He instructs all citizens to stay in their homes and not to leave under any circumstances for the next 2 or 3 weeks until they can control the outbreak. The governor emphasizes that no one should leave their homes until the city returns to normal, advising people to store as much food as they can to avoid going outside and risking being bitten and turning into zombies. Jerry spends the night at the apartment they entered, preparing himself for the next step, getting to the roof to board the helicopter. He wraps his arms with a lot of paper to protect himself from being bitten and turning into a zombie. He asks the apartment owners to come with him and board the helicopter, but they are too scared. They want to follow the city governor's advice to stay in their apartment, believing it's the safest place for them. Despite Jerry's attempts to persuade them, they refuse to join him. Jerry, along with his family, quietly heads to the roof, trying not to make any noise so the zombies won't hear them. However, zombies still manage to find and attack them. Jerry fights them off, but in the process, some zombie blood gets into Jerry's mouth. He fears that he's going to turn into a zombie too. He rushes to the roof and stands on the edge of the building, ready to jump off if he starts to turn, but nothing happens. He realizes that zombie blood doesn't affect humans in the way he thought. At the same time, the son of the apartment owners, whose parents were killed by zombies, joins Jerry on the roof. Jerry takes the boy with him as they continue to fight off the zombies. Eventually, they all board the helicopter sent by Thierry to rescue them. As they fly over the city, they witness the devastation. The entire city has fallen into chaos. The streets are overrun by zombies, and the city is completely destroyed. The helicopter takes them to a ship in the middle of the ocean, where Thierry and a large number of military forces are stationed, along with many uninfected humans. They chose the ocean as their safe zone, far away from the zombies and the dangers of the city. After they arrive on the ship, Thierry greets them. He informs Jerry that the president has died and the vice president is missing. The world is in chaos and they urgently need a way to stop the zombies, who are close to taking over the entire world. Thierry then shows Jerry and his family to their quarters on the ship, giving them beds to rest. After that, Thierry takes Jerry to the ship's operations room. In the operations room, Thierry explains that the virus is spreading across the entire world, and they are still trying to identify its source so they can figure out what to do. They discover that the origin of the virus is in Korea, and they plan to send a doctor named Dr. Fasbach to find a cure that can destroy the virus and save humanity. At this point, Thierry tells Jerry that they've chosen him to accompany Dr. Fasbach and protect him from the zombies. Jerry is told that if he doesn't accept this mission, there's no point in him staying on the ship because his presence is only valuable if he agrees to the mission. Jerry realizes that he has no other choice if he wants to protect his wife and children, so he reluctantly agrees to the dangerous mission, knowing that he could die at any moment. He asks Thierry and the team to keep his family safe while he's away, promising to do everything they ask of him. Jerry goes to say goodbye to his wife, giving her a phone so they can stay in touch during his mission until he returns to her and their children. Then, Jerry boards the plane with the team and Dr. Fasbach, who is in charge of finding the cure, and they take off for their destination. When they arrive at the location where they're supposed to land, they find the airport completely empty. There's no one around. They cautiously descend onto a specific runway, moving carefully to avoid attracting any zombies. Jerry warns Dr. Fasbach to follow his lead and not act on his own, as Jerry is responsible for protecting him and ensuring he completes the mission safely. However, as soon as they get off the plane, a zombie attacks one of the soldiers. Dr. Fasbach panics and rushes back toward the plane, but he slips and falls. In the confusion, a bullet accidentally fires from his gun, hitting him in the head. Dr. Fasbach dies before the mission even begins. After the special forces, who had been waiting for the plane, arrive, they take Jerry to their camp, where operations are being run. There, Jerry learns from the special forces, who have dealt with the zombies, that zombies are attracted to sound and that bullets don't kill them, they only slow them down. The only way to kill a zombie is by shooting it directly in the head. Jerry then talks to a soldier named Ellis, who witnessed an old zombie incident. Ellis explains, "We were in the area with the rest of the soldiers, but then the doctor, who was supposed to be dead, got up from the ground and attacked me. He managed to kill everyone else in the room, but then he left me alone, probably because he didn't notice me." Ellis continues, saying they tried to find any papers in the room that could help them understand the zombies, but they ended up burning the room to get rid of any trace of the zombies. Afterward, the forces at the camp introduced Jerry to a man they had been holding in prison. The man is the only remaining witness along with the other soldiers, but he had gone insane after witnessing what happened. They kept him locked up to prevent him from hurting anyone. The man tells Jerry, "If you want answers about everything that's happening, you need to go to Palestine. They probably know everything that's gonna happen, and they've even built high walls around Jerusalem to isolate themselves from the zombies and the plague that's about to take over the world. Go there and meet Jurgen. He knows everything." Jerry realizes the man has gone mad, and he even pulled out all his teeth so that when he becomes a zombie, he won't be able to bite anyone and spread the infection. Jerry then informs his team that they need to head to Jerusalem because it's the only lead they have to understand what's happening in the world and why the zombies are spreading so quickly. They begin fueling the plane to ensure they have enough fuel for the journey so they won't have to land anytime soon. They move silently on bikes to avoid making any noise that could attract the zombies. However, at that moment, Jerry's phone rings because he gets a call from his wife, and the sound draws the zombies toward them at high speed. Jerry and his team manage to reach the plane just in time, taking off quickly before the zombies can bite or turn them into zombies like themselves. They finally arrive in Jerusalem, where they are granted permission to land. Jerry asks to meet Jurgen, and once they meet, Jerry asks him, "When did you decide to build such high walls? Why were you the only ones who did it? What made you realize the world was going to collapse like this?" Jurgen responds, "As humans, we don't believe in something until it hits us, and then we are shocked, unable to find a way out. We sit around regretting what we didn't do and wishing that what happened hadn't occurred. Imagine if someone had told you a few days ago that zombies would take over the world. Would you have believed them? No. Everyone would have called them crazy and you would have been the first to dismiss it. But I was different from everyone else. A long time ago, I decided to build these walls to protect us and keep us safe. I implemented it. And now, as you can see, the whole world wishes they could live here with us." Jurgen continued. In 1973, the Jews thought they had the strongest army in the world, but then the Egyptians came during the 1973 war and humiliated them, breaking through their defensive lines. From that moment on, the Jews started to anticipate any danger that could attack them at any time. That's why they built these walls to protect themselves. After Jurgen takes Jerry around the city to show him the extensive precautions they've implemented, he explains that anyone who wants to enter the city must be thoroughly checked to ensure they are not carrying the virus. However, zombies outside the walls manage to breach them. They use their bodies to climb over the high barriers and invade the city, causing chaos. Despite the force's efforts to repel them, they are overwhelmed, and the zombies flood the city, attacking everyone. Jerry notices that while the zombies are attacking everyone, they seem to ignore an elderly man, passing by him as if he is invisible. This observation makes Jerry curious, and he starts to wonder why the zombies aren't attacking the old man or other specific individuals. During the chaos, Jerry's team encounters a zombie that attacks one of their soldiers, Segan. Jerry manages to kill the zombie, but Segan is bitten. Jerry, fearing that the infection will spread, decides to amputate Sagan's arm to prevent the virus from reaching the rest of her body. He stays by her side, making sure she doesn't turn into a zombie. Once he is confident she is safe, he helps her secure a rifle and ties her arm until they can get to the plane for further treatment. Meanwhile, the plane Jerry was supposed to take has been taken away, as the pilot fled to avoid the zombies. Jerry is forced to commandeer a passenger plane to escape with the remaining soldiers and Segan. He contacts Thierry to inform him of what has happened, including the fact that some people seem immune to the zombies and the virus. He asks Thierry for the location of the nearest medical facility to investigate the immunity further. While on the passenger plane, a zombie attacks one of the flight attendants and turns her into a zombie. Soon, all the passengers in the economy class become zombies. Jerry tries to keep the first-class passengers safe by separating them from the infected economy class and instructs everyone to remain silent to avoid attracting zombies to their section. During the struggle, a passenger accidentally drops a bag, alerting the zombies to their location. Jerry throws a grenade at the zombies, causing an explosion that destroys part of the plane and pulls all the zombies down to the ground. The plane, severely damaged, crashes, but Jerry and the surviving passengers manage to land safely, away from the immediate danger. Jerry and Segan manage to recover and set out towards the medical facility to uncover the mystery behind the virus that has devastated the world. However, Jerry becomes extremely weak and loses consciousness in front of the medical facility. For 3 days, Jerry remains unconscious. Meanwhile, back on the ship with Jerry's family, Thierry, the ship's captain, decides to disembark Jerry's family and relocate them to a land-based camp since they have been unable to reach Jerry for 3 days. Despite Thierry's objections, the captain insists on the decision, and Jerry's family boards a helicopter to the camp. Jerry wakes up in the medical facility, bound to a bed because the staff fears he might be infected. He asks them to release him and contacts Siri, who informs him that his family was removed from the ship and taken to a safe camp on land. The medical staff is relieved to learn that Jerry is part of the American forces and seeks a solution for the virus. Jerry requests that they develop a strong virus with a simple cure, rather than a lethal one. He discusses the virus with a specialist who explains that they have tested various viruses on zombies with no success. Jerry reveals his theory that zombies might be targeting only healthy humans and not those who are ill. The staff is shocked by this and informs him that the lab is overrun with zombies, making it nearly impossible to retrieve the viruses without risking death. Jerry volunteers to inject himself with a deadly virus to test his theory. He, along with Segan and a doctor, heads to the infected section to retrieve samples of the viruses. They open the door separating them from the zombies, but the noise attracts the zombies, causing a chaotic scene. Segan is killed by a zombie, and the remaining zombies swarm the area. Jerry and the doctor manage to enter the lab and collect a large number of virus samples. However, when they try to leave, they encounter a doctor outside the lab who is waiting to attack them. Faced with the threat, Jerry decides to use one of the viruses to create a diversion, allowing them to escape the lab and return to the safer section. After injecting himself with the virus, Jerry experiences only mild discomfort as the virus takes effect. He then approaches the door, separating him from the zombies, and to his surprise, the zombies completely ignore him, as if they can't detect his presence. This confirms his theory that the virus could be used to protect healthy humans. Jerry activates a noise-making device to distract the zombies and safely returns to the secure section of the lab. He then heads to the camp where his family is located, distributing the vaccine to control the virus's spread globally. The vaccine proves effective, and with its help, the world's armies manage to eliminate the remaining zombies, as there's no longer a way for them to survive. Jerry reunites with his family, and the threat of the virus is finally contained, bringing hope for a return to normalcy. The movie ends. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button to get new videos. See ya!